Hello. I'm sorry this is getting out so late. It's been a busy morning. Well, there's been a lot going on lately. And today, I want to celebrate all of the wonder and amazing things, and remember some of the terrible things that have happened to the Black community. Mostly I want to celebrate. So we're going to read The Undefeated again. We've read this book in class, but this poem by Kwame Alexander is an amazing poem. And this is the third time I've actually had to try to record this because I choked up a lot and had a hard time getting through it. So, Undefeated by Kwame Alexander, illustrated by Kadir Nelson. The Undefeated. This is for the unforgettable, the swift and the sweet ones who hurdled history and opened a world of possible. The ones who survived America by any means necessary. And the ones who didn't. This is for the undeniable, the ones who scored with chains on one hand and faith in the other. This is for the unflappable, the sophisticated ones who box adversity and tackle vision. Oh, there we go. That's better. Who shine their light for the world to see and don't stop till the break of dawn. This is for the unafraid, the audacious ones who carried the red, white, and weary blues on the battlefield to save an imperfect union. We'll learn about this later. This is about the U.S. Civil War. The righteous marching ones who sing, "We shall not be moved because Black lives matter." This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unlimited, unstoppable ones, the dreamers and doers who swim across the big sea of our imagination and show us the majestic shores of the promised land. The Wilma Rudolphs, the Muhammad Alis, the Athena Gibsons, the Jesse Owens, the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Serenas and the Cheryls, the Reese Whitleys, and the undiscovered. This is for the unbelievable, the wee real cool ones. This is for the unbending, the black as the night is beautiful ones. This is for the underdogs and the uncertain, the unspoken, but no longer untitled. This is for the undefeated. This is for you and you and you. This is for us. Who do you think the us is in this book? I'd really like to know. All right, so there's a bunch of information at the back of this that goes over who the people are in every picture. I'm not going to read that out loud because it would make this video like 45 minutes long. What I am going to read is called The Afterword, and it's a letter from Kwame Alexander, the author of the poem in this book, to the reader, kind of explaining why he wrote the poem. Afterword. I started writing this poem in 2008. That was the year my second daughter, Samaya, was born. And 3 months later, Barack Obama became the first African-American president of the United States. This poem was my tribute to both. I wanted to establish from the very beginning that much of what I am talking about in this poem, so much of American history, has been forgotten, left out of the textbooks, and that to truly know who we are as a country, we have to accept and embrace all of our woes and wonders. Woes is another word for sad, like things that aren't that great. And wonders are things that are wonderful, amazing. You gotta have both. So I wrote a poem because I wanted my daughters to know how we got to this historic moment. Or, as the famous Malia Jackson spiritual says, you know my soul look back and wonder, how did I make it over? I wrote a poem about a Black Olympians such as Jesse Owens and Wilma Rudolph, undermining the false narrative of white superiority by racing to gold in front of the whole world. About Malcolm X urging blacks to fight for freedom, justice, and equality, no matter the method or the cost. About enslaved Africans pushing on with an unwavering fighting spirit of hope and faith. Faith that one day they would be free, or that their children, or their children's children, would become the masters of their own destinies. About Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston and the Harlem Renaissance. About cultural expression and the liberation and the Black Arts Movement. About Dr. King's acceptance speech at the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize. About a promised land without racial injustice, poverty, and war. About civil rights marchers chanting, "We shall overcome," and demonstrating across the South. About Jack Johnson and Muhammad Ali boxing racial justice in and out of the ring. About Civil War heroes. About Black Civil War soldiers saving a union that refused to see them as equals. About Black Lives Matter. About Black Lives Matter. About Black Lives Matter. Because we are Americans. Because we are human beings. But mostly, I wrote a poem to remind Samaya and her friends, and her family, and all of you, and to remind myself to never, ever give up. Because as Maya Angelou wrote, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. It may even be necessary to encounter the defeat so that we can know who we are. So that we can see, oh, that happened, and I rose. I did get knocked down flat in front of the whole world, and I rose. Keep rising. Kwame Alexander, May 11th, 2018. I hope you enjoyed hearing The Undefeated again. I love this book, and I will see you all very soon. Have a good afternoon. Oh, my computer is going so slow because I've got so little battery left. It's okay. All right. I will see you all soon.